At Option Genius, we believe that you deserve freedom, financial freedom, so that you have no more worries and more than enough money. Time freedom, so that you could do what you want, when you want to do it. And choice freedom, to live your life on your terms. But the system and Wall Street are rigged against those little guys. So how do we fight back? Well, my friend, that's what this podcast is all about. My name is Alan Sama, and this is the Option Genius Podcast. Hey there, Genius Nation. How's everybody doing today? I am excited about this particular episode because I am going to share something that took me several years to figure out. And basically what I want to share with you is how to know if a individual trader or investor is going to succeed or not. Because everybody wants to be a trader, everybody wants to be an investor, but not everybody is cut out for it. Not everybody has the ability or the stamina or whatever you want to call it. Everybody doesn't do it. Everybody doesn't succeed. Now, I don't know why. Well, maybe I'll tell you. I don't know the exact reason why everybody doesn't have this particular trait that I'm going to be talking about today. It seems to be something that should be there, but until you realize what it is, until you are either you figure it out on your own or somebody actually shares it with you like I'm about to do today, a lot of people don't get it. They don't wrap their head around it. And so for that reason, I think that they give up. It's a shame because I think that when it comes to our finances, people just don't want to take responsibility. But you are not like that, and that's why you are on this podcast, and that's why you're here listening. And right now, over the years, I have had the privilege to work with tens of thousands of investors. We've dealt with people on the phone, we've dealt with people in coaching, dealt with people in our membership site, dealt with people on email, and I've even met several people at live events, And most people come to us not knowing much about options and passive trading or selling options. They don't know about it. They want to learn. They're excited about it. They're amazed at all the benefits. They're amazed at how simple it is to get started and all that. But then there are those that have been guilted. They have a sourness to them. They've been ripped off, or they've been lied to, or they've been cheated, or something like that. Either by a mentor that they were trying to listen to, and it turned out that guy was a fraud or a phony. Maybe they bought a course, and the course didn't work out exactly. They were promised the moon, and they didn't experience where they lost money. Like there was a guy whose book that I read, and this guy has. He's written a lot. They're kind of like the same book, but they made a lot of money back in the day in the 80s by the name of Wade Cook. And this guy wrote up a lot of books. He was doing a lot of Wade Cook. And this guy wrote up a lot of books. He was doing a lot of seminars. They had their own money management firm. They were doing really, really well. And then, the sad part is that they embellished. I guess you could say lied. But there was one book in particular where the guy is talking, how do you do a covered call? And in his book, he says that with a covered call, you can make 20-30% return on your money. And that's not exactly true. When I first heard about it, I didn't know anything about covered calls when I first read the book. And I was young, and I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. That's so easy. Oh my God, this is great. But then when I looked into it, I was like, wait a minute, there's something not right here. And eventually, Mr. Cook did end up going to jail. I don't know if he's still in jail or not, but, he was barred from the financial industry. People have followed him, and there are many, many like him. There are all these fake people have followed him, and there are many, many like him. There are all these fake gurus out there. Most of them are marketers that have never done any kind of trading, or if they have done any trading, they weren't really good at it. And others are, just phonies and frauds and fakes. So, it's extremely likely that you've been lied to, or do that against all these people that have this sour attitude. And I think it brings out a bit of skepticism, which is good. So you should be skeptic. You should be a skeptic. You should be skeptical about this. But when it comes to success, if you see somebody following a path and you see them having success with it, then you know that the path is correct. So, you do your research, then you find a path and you find somebody on the path that's willing to show you the path. Then at that point, I think you need to put your skepticism aside, and then you need to go to work. Because if you've done your research, if you've done everything, and you've seen that, okay, this has worked not for one person or 2 people or 10 people, but it's worked for a whole bunch of people, and it's continuing to work and it's working right now, and somebody's saying, hey, you know what, here, I'm going to show you how to do it, then maybe you put your skepticism aside and then you follow the path to the best of your ability. Because I do know that there are hundreds of ways to make money in the stock market. It's just a matter of making them work and knowing how they work and being good at it. And that takes time, that takes experience. But when it comes to success, right, I know that I can tell with amazing accuracy which investors will succeed and which will not. So, you put, 20 people in a room, succeed and which will not. So, you put, 20 people in a room, and after a while, you talk to all of them and you see what their reactions are, you see what their comments are. You can tell, okay, these 2 or these 3 or these 4 are going to succeed. Everybody else, maybe not. Probably not. And there is one simple way to tell. And I have seen over and over and over again. And it works with me too. I'm also a victim of this. When I have this particular trait, I do great. Amazing even. I made huge strides in my trading, in my life, and everything when I have this one trait. And when I don't have that trait, well, I call it stagnant and boring. Okay, so what is this particular trait that I'm talking about? Well, to know if you are going to succeed at trading or not, you need to know your reason. Okay, you need to know your why. Because if your why is for more money, then you will not succeed. And so when I'm talking to people, whether you're seeing their posts on social media, or when you're seeing them talk about how well they're doing, or about trading or investing or whatever, if they're only talking about dollars and cents, if they're only talking about how much they want to make, if they're only talking about what kind of returns they want to make, those are the types of people that do not stick around. They burn out, they blow up, they go away. They don't have the type of blow up, they go away. They don't have the type of success that you would want when it comes to trading. And by success, I mean, you're doing this for the long term, you're doing well financially, your accounts are growing, things are getting better in your life, you have more time on what you're doing, you're getting better at it, you're improving as a trader, as an investor, and then you're helping other people as well. So that's what I mean by success. Now, if it's about the money, if it's all about the money, then you will never achieve that level of success. You might do good in the meantime, in the short period of time, but then and you're going to sour on it, it's going to blow you up, you're not going to be focused on the right things, and it's just going to go away. So, if it's just about the money, you will not succeed. You won't. That's just the way it is. If all you want is more money, you will not do what it takes. If you want is more money, you will not do what it takes to truly master trading. Sure, you can make some good trades and win, but you won't hit your goals. Why? Well, because trading is hard. It takes time to learn. It takes experience. And we all want to make more. The money is just points. It's a way to keep score. It's the dollars and cents and the numbers in your trading account that go up and down. That's not important. And I hate to be cliche about it, but the money doesn't bring happiness. The things that money provides can bring you happiness. The things that money provides can bring you happiness. But having a bank account with say a 1 and a bunch of zeros behind it and nothing else leads to a very sucky existence. Now, in the beginning, when you're just starting out, the money can be intoxicating, but it's not the money itself. It's because of the potential, what you can do with the money, and then also the newness of the fact and the ability that you can make money just by using your brain. Because most of us have been taught, you go to school, you go to college, you work hard, you save up, you have to have skills. Maybe it's in manual labor. You have to actually do stuff. You have to put time, and money comes, and you don't really have to do anything. And that's freaking amazing. And when I started out, for me, the money was the reason, because I had just been laid off. And for me, I needed the money. And I wanted the money. And I wanted to be rich. And I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to be a billionaire. I wanted the money. And I wanted to be rich. And I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to be a billionaire, for God's sakes. And I was like, man, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make money. I'm going to make money. And to me, it was all about money. It was all about greed. It was all about, I want more, 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 more. I mean, I had just been laid off. It was tough. Super tough. I mean, my wife was working 2 jobs. And we got to the point where it was basically, ultimatum time. Either I learn how to trade quickly or I go get myself a job. But if you think about it, was it really about the money? Was it really about how much I wanted to have in my bank account? I mean, I did. I wanted to have like $1 million net worth, and I wanted to have 2 houses, and I needed to be able to money for pay for those houses and all that stuff, all the other financial success trappings. But it wasn't really about the money. The main thing was I had my back to the wall. I had to do something. I'm not going back to work. It was about providing for my family and making life easier for my wife, And there have been other times in my life where everything was smooth sailing. Things were great. And to motivate myself, I set myself a financial goal, or, like a goal that had only to do with money. Some of them were like, I want to retire by age blank with an income of this. I wanted to have X dollars in the bank. I wanted to have a net worth of, 5 million, 10 million, whatever it was. I never hit those goals because they didn't mean anything to me. They were just numbers. And I don't know if you're like this, but me, if my back is to the wall, I'm going to do whatever I take to scratch and succeed and to get out of that. But then when my back is not to the wall, when things are smooth, it doesn't matter how big a goal I have. It doesn't matter how much money I wrote down that I want in my bank account. I don't really care. As long as my needs are being met, things are good, life is comfortable, I don't really worry about it. And so that's why option selling is perfect for me, because I'm not going to be all gung-ho. I can be motivated for short periods of time. And I think this works with just about everybody. And that's what all the new age psychologists and researchers are telling us about willpower and motivation, where, you can do it for short periods of time, but you can't do it for long, long periods of time. And so when I have my back to the wall, I can periods of time. And so when I have my back to the wall, I can work really, really hard. I can put in the hours. I can bust my butt, and I can get out of that situation. But then when things are smooth and things are fine again, I go back to status quo. I sleep in. I don't work as hard, And I've seen this same thing happen over and over and over again in other people as well. So when people tell me their why, right? I ask people, hey, what got you into trading? Why are you doing this? What's the end goal? What's the results you're looking for? The ones with the most burning desire are the ones that succeed the fastest and the longest. Really. Because only a burning desire will propel you forward, will make you work harder, will make you think more creatively. If you hit a roadblock, if you have that burning desire, then you're going to find a way around the roadblock. If it's about numbers, you're going to be like, oh man, this didn't work. Okay, yeah, let me go try something else. Let me go look at that. Oh, hey, what's that over there? There's another strategy that this guy's telling me about. Let me try that, Oh, hey, what's that, that new product that just came out, that new course that this guru came out with. Oh, let me try that, and keep you on track. So when I first started Option Genius, I mean, for me, it was supposed to be a lifestyle business. I just wanted to share what I'd learned, this amazing thing called option selling with people, and just a few people, just a handful of people. I didn't want like thousands and thousands of members, because that would just take too much time. Answering emails and talking and all that stuff. I didn't want to do all that. I just wanted something that was going to take a few hours a day, just enough to keep me occupied. And for years, it was fine. Everything was awesome. I was helping people, and the extra money didn't get rich off of it, but it was good, bit of pocket change and all that. But then I went through kind of what I think was a midlife crisis. I mean, I didn't go to a psychologist and have it officially diagnosed, but I think I went through a bit of a psychologist and a midlife crisis, and I might have even gone through it a year earlier too. When you hit about 40, that's when that's when you go through it, or 50. I think 50 is the age most people go through it. That's what I've heard anyway. But in 2016, I hit 40, and I had been feeling uneasiness for a while. I'd feel boredom. I was feeling that there was more to life. I was feeling that there was more to life. I needed to be doing something else. I had considered even quitting Option Genius and selling it, or moving on, or hiring a partner to take over the day-to-day stuff and handling it, or making it grow, or do whatever. Just because it wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't exciting. It didn't and I just happened to stumble across this website called The Death Clock. I think it's at deathclock.com. Where it asks you your date of birth, and you put in you answer a couple questions that they ask you, like do you smoke or not, what's your height, what's your body weight, etc. And they tell you when you're gonna die. So basically they tell you how much longer you have to live. And at the time I was 40, and this thing told me that I was gonna go at age 73. And I was like, what? 73? Are you kidding me? No, man, 80, everybody's going to 80 now. Oh my God, 80, everybody's going to 80 now. Oh my God, I thought I would make it to at least 80. I'm still pretty young. I still feel good, But then 73 was a number, and I was like, wow, dude, I just lost 7 years of my life, without doing anything. I'm gonna go 7 years earlier than I thought I would. My legacy, what was I gonna leave behind? And that's when I decided that, hey, it's time to do something good, to do something big, and to put the pedal to the metal, and to get the word out about options, especially selling options. People need to know about this stuff, because there's too many people out there suffering in retirement, suffering trying to make ends meet, suffering trying to go and try to make their 401k last all through their retirement years. And it lit a fire under me, and it lit a fire under my chair. Let's just leave it at that. And so my advice to you is this. If you have been having trouble in trading, if you have been having trouble, or more than one course, and you've done nothing with it, find your reason. Find out why you're doing it. It's not about the money. It's way, way more important than that. Maybe it's about your family. Maybe it's about your kids. Maybe it's about, something, your charity, something that you're passionate about. Something that you're passionate about. It's not about the second house. It's not about the sports car. It's not about upgrading to a bigger house, or just having that money in the bank, or buying something. It's not about buying things. It's not about material stuff. If you want to truly buying things, it's not about material stuff. If you want to truly succeed, you need to have a much deeper meaning that actually resonates with you inside, because only then will you do the extra effort. Only then will you take the time and focus and learn and work. I want an extra $5,000 a month or $2,000 a month. Well, that's great, but if you're already making enough to survive and be comfortable, $2,000 a month is not going to move the needle for you. It's not going to make you want to do what you have to do. And so it becomes kind of like a wishy-washy. Scenario. Like, yeah, it would be great if I could have another $2,000 a month, So what are you willing to do for that $2,000 a month? Are you willing to put in the time and the effort? Well, I'm kind of busy. I got the kids and my wife, and I want to have a balanced life. I got my job, and so that's wonderful. You have to decide what you want. If the $2,000 a month extra is really worth it, and you really want it, then you're going to find a way to do it. That might mean that you spend a couple hours a night after you come home from work, after the kids go to sleep, after your wife goes to sleep, practicing trading and learning and back testing and stuff like that. Or it might mean that you cut out something If you don't have the money for trading, well, maybe you downsize your car. Maybe there's a month on a car note and you have no money for trading, but you really, really want something, whatever it is. Maybe you want to quit your job, and you want to quit your job by learning how to trade and replacing your income because you really, really hate your job. You hate the people you work with. You hate your boss. It's not fulfilling to you. And you want to go do something else in your life, but you need the income. Well, if you have a $500 or $600 car payment, maybe you can sell that car and go buy, a cheaper car, maybe a $2,000-$3,000 car that you pay off right away. And then you take that $500 a month and you put it into your trading. You put it into your future. If the will is there, you'll find a way, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. That's what I'm basically saying here. And the people who succeed, they have the strongest reason. They have the strongest why. They have the will. And that's what propels them further when there's a back, like a back sting, like when you lose money. And obviously everybody loses money at one time or another. You're going to lose money, and it might be a big hit, and it might be devastating. It might be a really big hit. Like, oh my God, I've spent all this time, effort, learning on, that happens a lot. That happens to almost everybody. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. So be prepared for it. And if your why is strong enough, if your will is strong enough, you'll get through it. You just keep going. You take what happened, you find out the why it happened, you learn the lesson from it, find out the why it happened, you learn the lesson from it, and you built it into your system, you built it into your trading plan so that doesn't happen again. Or you get help from somebody else that actually that's at a higher level than you are. You have them look at it and say, hey, what could I have done differently? And then you have them look at it and say, hey, what could I have done differently? And then you learn and you apply and you keep moving forward and the ball keeps rolling. And that's how it works. That's how you get successful. I don't know anybody, I haven't met anybody, and I haven't heard anybody's story that has not lost a lot of money when they were learning how to trade. It's just, experience. And it does take a burning desire, something that's more about the money. Okay? So if all else fails, go out when you're going to go out and figure what you want to do with the time you have left. Okay? Go out and find out what you're going to do. What you want to do, how much time you have left. You go to that website, deathclock.com, and figure it out. How many years do you have left? And, well, I mean, if you want to. You don't have to. It's fine. It did light a fire under me, but I was already going through that midlife crisis anyway. But it kind of helped me come to a realization, forced me to an inflection point. And I'm reading this book about inflection points in your life. And basically it's an inflection point in your life is when something is happening that's changing, and either it's external or internal. Maybe you're losing your job, or your company is restructuring or something, you don't know what's going to happen. That would be your company is restructuring or something, you don't know what's going to happen. That would be an external inflection point. For me, this was, turning a certain age was an internal inflection point. And so you can either go along with the flow and not do anything about it, or you can take that energy, harness it, and move it to your advantage. And I think that's what I have done, or at least I'm trying to do. I'm not perfect. I'm using that time or that lack of time to actually go out and try to make a difference, to try to help people. And so I think most people out there do want to do the same thing. And so if you're having trouble finding a why, then maybe your why is depressed. The fastest way to get out of depression is to go help other people. And I'm not talking about like clinical depression, where you have to be medicated and you're suicidal and all that stuff. I'm talking about like regular, I don't want to make light of the situation, but if it's not chemically imbalanced, if it's because of something that's happened in your life, you could sit there and dwell on it and feel bad and sit in your black hole. Or a way that could help you is to go out and help other people. And so maybe it's the same thing here. If you don't have a why, if you don't know why you're trading, if everything in your life is great, and you don't have any other way to come up with a burning desire, then maybe you find somebody that needs help, or an organization that you really, really feel for, deep down burning inside. And you help your trade well, get better, and then you help that organization. What you want to do, figure out how you're going to do it, and then just go do it. Okay? And while you're doing it, remember to always trade with the odds in your favor. Peace out. Want to know how to choose the perfect option trade for every trading situation? It's easy. Just download our free trading map and it'll tell you. Just go to optiongenius.com/map.